Okay, let's start. Okay, it's a pleasure to have here two researchers from the Czech Republic and Slovakia. We are involved in a Erasmus Plus project with institutions of from Czech Republic and Slovakia, and also the IAC and GTC are involved in this mobility Erasmus Plus project. Well, let me introduce the speakers today. They are Marek Skarka and Theo Pribulla. Marek is from the Instituto of Astronomy of the Czech Academy of Science. He is expert on stellar pulsations, and also he works in exoplanet stuff. He did his PhD in Brno. And then he moved as a postdoc to Hungary, to the Concoli Observatory, and come back to the Czech Republic, where you are right now a staff or postdoc?
Postdoc.
Postdoc in the Czech Academy of Science. And Theo, he is from the Slovak Academy of Science in Slovakia. He is expert in close binary stars and also in the development of instrumentation. And he did his PhD in Slovakia and then moved for several postdocs in Canada and Germany, and finally he came back to Slovakia, where he has a permanent position right now. So, well, it's a pleasure to introduce you, and then you can start.
Okay, thank you very much. Gentlemen, and maybe also ladies, if somebody is watching the live stream. So I'm very happy to be here because that's my first visit here to Canary Island, and I'm completely amazed about the countryside and the nature. So I'm very happy to be here. As Jorge said, I'm from Astronomical Institute of Czech Academy of Sciences, and I'd like to introduce you briefly a new mobility project, but mainly the two institutes that are involved in this project, in this Erasmus Plus. The main idea of this project is to allow exchanges between IAC, Czech and Slovak institutions, and to start cooperation between these institutions, to start collaboration, and to exchange, to allow the scientists to come and visit each other. So, if you are interested, if we will persuade you that it's worth it to come to Czech and Slovak Republic, so it would be fine for you to try to apply for the money from this project, because basically this project can pay everything, can cover your stay and your flights and everything else. So this seminar will be divided into two parts. First, I will introduce the Czech institutions, and then Theo will speak about the Slovak institutions. You can find more information at this web page, and here you can see the logos of all the sites that participate on this project. So, Czech Republic is a small country just in the middle of Europe. We have 10 million people, so it's a really small country, but it has really rich history. It played a crucial role in the medieval ages, mainly. So, we have lots of castles, more than 1,000 castles at our area, and we have also very beautiful nature, mainly the mountains that create a border here at the border. Yeah, and probably the most famous city in Czech Republic is Prague. Maybe you visited it. It's really worth it because it's a historical city and very nice city, and maybe you also tasted the Czech beer, so it's very tasty. So, as you can see, okay, so because Czech Republic is in the middle of Europe, so the light pollution is quite high, so no such nice sky as you have here at the Canary Islands. So you can see that mainly Prague is a problem. And the biggest Czech astronomical institution is the Astronomical Institution of Czech Academy of Sciences, which is placed somewhere here. So that's the point that we don't have any large observatory, and we deal with other things. So the Astronomical Institute is placed about 30 kilometers southeast from Prague. It's near the village called Ondřejov. It's a small village, about 2,000 people, and everything here belongs to the institute. So if you compare the size of the institute, it's about the size of the village itself. Here's the detail. So there are several buildings spread out over, I don't know, 1 square kilometer or something like this. And there is the biggest telescope we have in Czech Republic, 2-meter Perek telescope, which was built in 1967. And it was modernized several years ago, and now it's in full operation, and we use it for optical spectroscopy. But there are also several other instruments, like this 65 centimeter telescope, which is used for photometry of asteroids and variable stars. And there are some radio antennas used for the investigation of the sun. Also some cameras for monitoring the meteors. And here you can see this photo, that's the heart of the original observatory with the historical buildings. So it was founded at the very end of the 19th century. It was built as a private observatory, but in 1928 it was donated to the Czech state. And after the Czech Academy of Sciences, at that time it was the Czechoslovak Academy of Sciences, in 1954 the observatory became a part of the Academy of Sciences. As you can see here, we have 160 employees, but this number contains all technical staff and other employees, so about 110 people are the researchers. So it's 1/4 of this institute, so it's very small compared to ISC. We are the Czech Republic and the institute are in International Astronomical Union, in European Southern Observatory, and also in European Space Agency. We deal also with public outreach, some public lectures, and we teach students at the universities. So not only research. The institute consists of 4 departments. The first one is the solar department. I think that for you it's the most interesting because people from Czech Republic already cooperate at the telescope Gregor, and also will participate on the new solar telescope, 4-meter telescope in the future. And we are also heavily involved in ALMA. I mean people from the solar department. The other department is stellar department, where the people mostly deal with hot stars and modeling of stellar winds and stellar atmospheres. But we are also involved in Gaia, for example. We are developing codes for automatic classification of variable stars. So this is what we do at the stellar department. Interplanetary matter, that's probably the most famous department of Czech astronomy of the institute, because almost 2/3 of all meteorites that were found on the ground based on the observation from the cameras were co-discovered by Czech astronomers. And we discovered the first one in 1959. Yeah, it was meteorite Pribulla. And this was the first meteorite that was found based on such frames, and it was the first meteorite where people were able to calculate the orbit and the origin of the body. So we now have a Central European fireball network, and we also cooperate on the desert fireball network in Australia. And the last department deals with galaxies and planetary systems, mainly focusing on the dynamics and kinematics of galaxies and interstellar matter. So now I would like to announce some projects, some possible cooperation that could be done. So our group, Exoplanet Group, is led by Dr. Petr Kabát. He's very enthusiastic and skilled astronomer. He spent a few years in Chile as a support astronomer at VLT. So he's the leader of the group. We are 3 postdocs there, and we have several students, and we mainly aim to get radial velocity spectroscopic measurements of candidates, of K2 and Kepler candidates. When okay, yeah. For how long? Yeah. Okay. So when TESS and Plato will be launched, so we suppose that we will observe Plato and TESS candidates. But our interest is much broader. Okay. And we also cooperate with Tautenburg Observatory in Germany, and we plan to build a spectrograph, to attach a spectrograph to 1.5 meter Swiss telescope at La Silla, and this telescope will be
Hello? 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 Hello?
Okay. Oh, fine. Thanks. So that's basically all what I wanted to tell about the Astronomical Institute, and now I switch to Brno, where is the Department of Theoretical Physics and Astrophysics of Masaryk University. It's my alma mater, so I really like this university, this department, and this city because I live there in Brno. So, it's the second biggest city in Czech Republic with 350,000 citizens. But during the year, during the school year, there are more than 100,000 people more because of students, because there are 5 big universities, and Masaryk University itself hosts some 36,000 students. So it's a student city, let's say. The department is very small. It employs only 11 permanent staff, permanent researchers, and 6 people from outside, external collaborators who teach there. Of course, there are more people, but the astrophysical part of the department consists only of 11 people. We have about 80 students of astrophysics, astronomy and astrophysics, but most of them consist of the bachelor students, and after the first year, this number drastically decreases. So we can expect that at the end of the academic year, this number will be much lower. The biggest telescope we have in Brno is the 60 centimeter Newtonian telescope, which is placed in this dome. And you can see that the observatory is just in the middle of the town. It wasn't such a, when the observatory was built. It was built in 1953, I think, so 60 years ago, and it was at the edge of the town. So 50 years, 60 years, and then the city completely surrounded the observatory. But the people from the Department of Theoretical Physics, Astrophysics, it's working now. Okay. Speak it. Yeah, but people also observe with 1.5 Danish telescope, 1.5 meter Danish telescope. It's terrible. It's like